I realize it's late. It's almost 10. So nobody will show up. So I'll just talk to myself because that'll make me feel better. So annoyed I can't even write. But I do have this wonderful cup to drink out of. My Pringles can. My Pringles Ranch can that also says, I don't always drink wine, but when I do, it's from a Pringles can. Makes me real happy. I went to church. You'd think I would be feeling more pious, but I'm not. I'm just terribly annoyed. I mean, Donna Greiser, the fact that you haven't signed up to be a supporter just does me in. Gave me all those nice treats. So, today the children were home from school. So when my husband got home and said, "What'd you do today?" I almost poked his eyes out. So here's what we did today. We have over 200 t-shirts that came in today that will be going to the supporters first, and then regular people get to order them. They're all right here. We have pink and green. They look like this. I'm just gonna give y'all a little sneak peek so you'll be jealous. Hold on, let's see. Where is it? Okay, this is one. Let's see. Piss and vinegar. And then we have, what are these? Oh, these are good. These are toad ones, see? There's a red one for Red for Ed too. Finally live. Yay. I was live. I think I went live earlier today. Amos and I were in the bed watching Annie with Blair because Blair had her hair cut, which caused an hour of crying because it was too short. That just means she had the ends cut off. They were like disgusting and frayed. So anyway, that's that. Now, and my supporters got to see a very good video of Amos today because he was like so done in. We didn't have school. He couldn't stand it. Chris, Jack Germain got a pink one. Chris, it's in one of these boxes, and Mary is going to have them shipped out by Friday. So, you want a t-shirt? You better become a supporter. Yes, that's the rule. So, 2 things have annoyed me. Well, probably more than 2. I know I shouldn't just write about being annoyed, but I can't help it. I'm debating between what annoys me more, a Chihuahua being run over or Mark Johnson. Where do we order? Well, Kim, we did a big order like a month ago, but we're getting ready to have another order once we get these shipped out. And so they'll be open to everybody, even though you're a supporter. I don't know how you missed it. And then we have some new ones that are coming out. One is #cease and desist. But again, that's only available to the people that pay me $5 a month to spend my days researching and calling senators. That's right. Yep. Now, but Kim, you can order one when the next order, which will be in like 10 days. We have to get a couple hundred, then we order. Blah, 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 blah. You know, you're my friend. I'll do it for you. Now, what's more annoying, Mark Johnson or a person that hits a Chihuahua? Hey, kitty. It's a very tight race. I'm not sure. It might be Mark Johnson. It might be. Yep. Yes, sirree, Bobby. Selena, you'll have an opportunity this weekend. We're going to try to do it on Saturday or Sunday when I get back from football camp in Tarboro. Yeah. The Chihuahua takes precedence. No, I mean, the Chihuahua I love. The person that hit the Chihuahua and Mark Johnson are who are competing for bad behavior. So the Chihuahua story. So we go to church. We get out of church. The kids are playing Foursquare. That's fine. It's like 7:15, and this tiny Chihuahua runs. Well, you know, you don't see Chihuahuas roaming the neighborhood. So the Chihuahua runs across Broad Street. And I mean, we were like getting everybody in the car. And Blair, they want me to chase the Chihuahua. So I go down Albemarle. I go down, turn on Oakham. We stop. The Chihuahua, we turn around. Then the Chihuahua heads towards the peanut mill. And the Chihuahua went down the street. We got out of the car, or I did. And the Chihuahua got close to me, but it wouldn't let me pick it up. Well, then it runs out by the peanut mill. And I'm not in the car. I'm like standing outside the car trying to figure out how to get this Chihuahua to come to me. And my main goal at this point is to not have the Chihuahua get hit by a car, even if I can't catch it, not to have it hit, right? Because I have 4 children in the car. This mofo comes flying. And when I say flying, I mean flying down the street. And I start doing my hand like this, like slow down. And you know what he does? He gives me the finger and runs over the Chihuahua. I mean, my blood pressure was through the roof. It was horrible. I'm calling the police. This Chihuahua's been hit. It's awful. It's crying. It like can't stand up. And I'd already called the police like 3 times because I was like, I need y'all to come help me catch this Chihuahua. Like, I just, I just am not somebody that can like ignore a dog. And that's how my whole town was. Like, people were on bikes. Like, people were really looking for the dog. So the police are pulling up. The Chihuahua's in the street. And I decided to go after the mofo in the car that ran over the Chihuahua and slowed down and didn't stop. Now, did you know in North Carolina that's not against the law? They call it an act of God. But my husband, attorney, that I live with, he said that it can be reckless driving because I knew he was driving fast. So that made me feel better. So I'm in my car. That guy is going so fast. Then I'm going fast. And then I was like, oh my God, I can't go 100 because I have 4 children that, I need to take care of. So I am going like 70 on a 35. Makes the turn, we make the turn, then he's gone. So we're driving all through these neighborhoods. I mean, I'm like, I'm going to look for that car. We think we find the car. We call the police. The police go, and the person, which I should have just waited to see what the person looked like because I know I would know him if I recognized him, but it looked like a younger, like white guy in his 20s with a ponytail. And it was kind of like a Chevrolet Malibu sort of thing. And Russell is like, I'm going to give him 2 fingers. This is the kind of shit that happens in our house. And Russell said, Mom, do you think karma gets people? And I was like, I don't know if it's karma, but I think what goes around comes around. So yes, I think in life, you can't do things. I just cannot for the life of me imagine doing something like that. I just can't. I can't imagine it. So we're driving around looking for the mofo that hit the Chihuahua. We can't find him. The police officer, I said, I want somebody to call me back. So he calls me back. I went there. The car doesn't have a registration. He said he wasn't there. I was like, did you get under the car with a spotlight? I'm like ready to I'm going to go sit out, stalk that house. And meanwhile, I'm like, ready for like blood. And I'm saying to my children, you never chase anybody because you don't want to get shot. And I'm like about to be a Chihuahua. So the end of that story is no one was arrested. We don't know who that person is. But I promise you, I will not rest. I will spend the rest of my days. I can't even leave Edenton ever now. I will find that person in that car and I will get them. I promise you. I will. I'll get them. I don't know what I'm going to do to them. But you know what the police officer said to me? I love my police officer. He said, you write that blog, don't you? And I said, yeah, I do. And he said, I bet you could get him on social media. Yes. Yes, sirree, Bobby, I could. Dog runner over. Speeder who runs away. His picture's going to be all over the place. It's Vigilante Justice by the Debutante. I think the dog was okay. So then the nice person stops and gets the dog. She's an attorney. I see this woman standing on the corner when we're driving back. It's like, I said to Thomas, I think those people know something about this dog. The whole town had been looking for the dog. Well, this nice attorney, she has the dog in her car in a dog bed, like Blair said. She just had a dog bed in her car. And we petted the dog, Susie. And Susie's owner was getting ready to come get her. And Susie has to go to the vet. But we know where Susie lives now. Susie lives 2 blocks away, right beside several of my friends on Church Street. Church Street or Gale Street? So anyway, now we can go visit Susie. I mean, they were all crying. It was awful. I mean, that person ran over the dog, and I told him to slow down. My eyes twitching. So, the dog killer. Well, it didn't kill the dog. The try-to-be dog killer. And then we have Mark Johnson, the superintendent. So we have Chihuahua masochist, and we have North Carolina superintendent. Do you know how sad that is that I have to talk about those two people and equate them to one another? Please become a supporter of my blog, please. Because I spend so much time thinking about this. It is worth $5 a month. I need y'all. Help me here. How did Susie get out? Susie got out just the same way that Amos got out one time and got found at the drugstore a few years ago. You know, it's a Chihuahua. It's like tiny. It probably could like dig under like a mouse. So Mark Johnson, the North Carolina superintendent, had a major announcement today. Okay, can we just go over what a major announcement is? Thank you, Nicole. Says it's so fun. You've missed Mark Johnson. I have a feeling Mark Johnson has been so glad that I've been down screwing around in New Hanover and Pender County. Well, Mark Johnson's getting a nice turn now. Between the General Assembly wanting 4-year-olds to go to pre-K virtually. I mean, it's like I'm insane. I really feel like I'm insane. Am I insane? My video's frozen. Well, let me look and see what let me look at and check my settings. Hang on. Well, I can't help that it's frozen because my wireless is on. My children. Yay, Pam is. So he has this major announcement today. Now, my friends Stu Egan and Justin Parmenter. Stu writes Caffeinated Rage, and Justin writes Notes from the Chalkboard. They're both outstanding teachers. I mean, I love them. And in fact, when the teacher march is May 1st, Jen Magram and I are going to share a room, and I hope they're going to share a room. We're going to have dinner, and then we're going to go to the march the next day. I mean, these are good people. So, oh shit, what was I saying? No, I can't remember. Mark Johnson. Oh, major announcement. So Justin pointed out in a blog post today, he's had 3 major announcements. One was yesterday with Berger about Read to Achieve. Okay, I almost feel like this is somebody like saying, I can't even equate it to anything. Read to Achieve. The research was done on Read to Achieve, and you know what it said? It said, Read to Achieve, no work. Bad idea. Jeb Bush, idiot. So instead of like valuing the research, tell us where we should meet. Okay, we can do that, Pam. We can meet for coffee at the Biscuit Kitchen, Sunrise Biscuit Kitchen. And let's... major announcement. So he has a major announcement with Berger on Read to Achieve and how let's just blame teachers and do more reading. So today he has another major announcement. Call me crazy. We'll talk about virtual kindergarten after this because that's just so dumb. It deserves its own discussion. And I talked to 2 reps today. One, I left a message. 2 called me back, which I always appreciate. I talked to Horn and I think Wallace. And the last guy, his secretary called me back and said, he says he can't talk to you. I was like, ever? Like, he never has time, ever? She was like, no. I was like, does he know that I'm a blogger and I'm going to tell people that? But anyway, go ahead. So the major announcement today, I think of as a major announcement as like saying, I'm having a baby. I mean, I'm not having a baby. That's a major announcement. A major announcement is a big deal. This major announcement is Horner. Oh no, I didn't talk to him. I know Ricky. We're old friends. Lord, Ricky hides from me half the time. Now he's on the committee for education. These weren't the senators. These were the reps, the House of Representatives. So the major announcement was, dun, 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 dun. Instead of giving school systems $40 million, we're going to divide that money up for teachers. So each teacher gets $400 for supplies. Now you might be thinking, well, maybe that's nice. Maybe that's nice. These teachers are going to have like this bizarre kind of credit card and they can buy what they want to. Now, just lots of things come in my mind. The reasoning is because we don't know where schools are spending the money. Well, the amount that schools have been given for supplies has dropped by, I think, 30%, 50% over the last 10 years and 30% over like the last 3 years. The problem, and Justin said this, Justin Parmenter, which I just thought was so smart. Oh, and the Teacher of the Year, Lisa Godwin. Ooh, she was supposed to be at the major announcement today. And the most major thing about the announcement was that her ass didn't go. She no dummy. So Lisa Godwin said, I don't think the problem is that our principals are like buying caddies. That's me saying it. With the money. The problem is we don't have enough money. So a major announcement would be like, Mark Johnson, if you're watching this, which I'm sure some of you and your minions are, a major announcement would be like, we're going to bring back teacher assistants, or we've decided to expand North Carolina pre-K, so we're going to have more slots and help counties serve children so that they don't have to go to preschool on a computer. And just ignore all the research that's ever been done about screen time and young children's brains. Drew Elliott, who is the communications director at Wake County Schools. I'm not crazy about him. I used to talk to him a long time ago, and now I've just given up. He annoys me too. Well, you know what he did today? Oh, I'm going to share this. He was on Twitter bashing Lisa Godwin, the Teacher of the Year. Hello? Are you crazy? Do you know how dumb that makes you? And you deleted that tweet, but we got the screenshot because Justin sent it to me and Lisa's got it too. I mean, all these fools, y'all need to stay off social media. Mark Johnson can't help it. He chimes in every once in a while, and then he just gets eaten like a rib bone in a hungry dog. I mean, stay away from social media if you can't behave. Say I'm doxing. Never doxed anybody in my life. I don't even know what that is. They said one time I doxed because I was making phone calls live on my blog, and when I called Drew Elliott's number, it went to his cell phone. So I didn't dox him. Anybody could call his voicemail and get a cell phone. I mean, I didn't tell people his cell phone. I just played his voicemail message. That's not doxing. At least those fools don't send me cease and desist letters like they do in Wilmington. I guess they've given up. I ain't gotten any more cease and desist letters. But anyway, so Mark Johnson says, we're going to give this money to the teachers. And what's odd about it, and now call me crazy, I think he thought people were really going to be excited over that announcement. That's what's so weird about this whole thing, is that you think this is like a joke. Did you ever watch that show, The Twilight Zone, where the child is sitting around eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, watching TV, like bossing everybody around? It's the weirdest thing. I mean, how could he be proud of that announcement? They really should hire me. For the right amount, I could save Mark Johnson for maybe $350,000 a year. I mean, if I were his policy advisor, like Kevin Wilkinson, and I told Kevin Wilkinson, I gave him some free advice. He was very nice. But I was like, you need to stop putting his pictures on things. It makes people hate him. No one wants to see his picture on a nutrition form, a safety form, nothing. They can't take it. It pisses people off. Don't do that. You're hurting yourself. I know you think you're campaigning, but it makes people angry. And now you're going to say it's a major announcement? Well, you know damn well that that credit card or whatever, you know somebody. You remember when Mark Johnson had to go out to California to tour the Apple headquarters? I'm looking for one of his damn handouts. I got more crap in here. Ooh, for my supporter giveaway party. Look at this. This is a really good one. We have a dun dun dun. Speaking of Mark Johnson, Jen Mangrum running for North Carolina superintendent. And if y'all aren't here for my blog for North Carolina education, then I'm sorry. I'm willing to sacrifice my blog to help someone win who I believe actually gives a shit about education. I mean, sorry, but not sorry. Here is, oh crap, I can't find any of his darn things. Hard for me to keep in the house. They make me mad. Oh, Jennifer, you're not going to get one unless you become a supporter. Too bad for you. Now, so Mark Johnson's major announcement is we're going to give that money. Well, here are all the questions. Who wined and dined him on this app for $400? When he went out to California to tour Apple, you know what my daughter said? She's 9. She was like, why'd he go to California? I said, oh, well, I don't know. She goes, I mean, he could have just gone to the mall. The Apple store at the mall. I mean, I'll be damned. Who needs to go tour Apple so they can spend $6 million on iPads and then put $400,000 worth of them in storage in Wake County? I mean, you can't make this shit up. And it's like our North Carolina superintendent. This is not just like Trump. You know, Trump seems far away. This is our person. It's awful. It is awful. So anyway, major announcement. So I've asked several principals and a few superintendents and some teachers for their thoughts. So that's why I haven't written about it yet, because I really wanted to hear what they think. I mean, if every principal said to me, boy, I think this is great, then I might be willing to be open. I think what's interesting about this is they didn't ask one teacher or a principal or a superintendent. There's not been one person. So they don't ask the people that it matters to. Like, ask. You know, I would support you if you stood up there. That's why they wanted Lisa Godwin up there. And her ass one will sit up there. She no dummy. That's why she was Teacher of the Year. Thank God they hadn't messed that up. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is, the Teacher March is May 1st. Cannot wait to be there. And then we're going to talk about virtual preschool. So I wrote this post today, a letter from Amos, about virtual preschool. So I talked to Craig Horn and I talked to this other fella, and they were both very nice. Now, I did point out to them that I think it's a terrible idea, but I listened. And it's cheaper. Now, nobody's saying that, but we all know it's cheaper. I said, I just don't feel good about giving small children iPads and you think they're going to do something on them. There's no evaluation in place. There's no research in place. There's no research that supports this kind of thing. And I was really thankful. Somebody from Frank Porter Graham commented on my thing. I tagged them in my post. Now, I used to work at Frank Porter Graham Child Development Institute as a research assistant. And I did a study funded by McCormick Tribune, funded my dissertation. And people, like all these researchers, never really, I don't see them in a social media standpoint. I mean, maybe that's me, but I don't work there currently. But I said, I really want to see researchers. We need to come up with some sort of coalition of people that research and social media and bring a group together. I mean, that means I'm an ultimate nerd, but I really think that's important because they have such good information and we want to make sure that people get it. So the other thing is, yes, Freeburg McKinney said he wouldn't support it either. I didn't know they asked him though. Yeah, because he's on the state board, isn't he? He's the teacher on the state board of ed. I like Freeburg. And he tries to generally be I think he tries to, get along. And I think Lisa does too. But at some point, I tried to get along with them. I really did. I made a wholehearted effort. I took a selfie with Kevin Wilkinson. I mean, I tried. And then I gave up. I'm not going to ever be popular. I'm just not. I'm not. Somebody was like, you're immature and inappropriate. You were making these faces while you were filming the Nash County Board of Ed meeting. I know that I was. I can't help it. I am being true to myself. And when I hear people say dumb shit, I make a face. I mean, it's me. Love me or hate me, it's me. So virtual preschool, these 4-year-olds, so think about Amos. He's in a class full of children, NC pre-K. So to qualify for NC pre-K, typically you're from an economically disadvantaged family. Amos is not. But Amos's classmates are. Not all of them, maybe, but probably most of them, most NC pre-K. So if Amos's classmates all were given computers and told to sit their asses at home, where would Amos be? Would he have a class? No. So not only are they missing out on the opportunity, which is important, what about kids with disabilities that are being mainstreamed into pre-K? I mean, y'all, like, the Individual with Disability Education Act says Amos gets access to education with his typical peers. This bill, they come up with these little bills, just like the charter schools, and then suddenly you're slammed. And again, I don't hate charter schools. I detest bad charter schools, but I also detest traditional public schools that are bad. That's why Jeffries and Rocky Mount makes me feel like I'm going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Anyway, I'm not perfect. I never will be, but I give a shit. I give a shit about Chihuahuas, and I give a shit about teachers. You're not trying out to be a local news anchor. No, I can't even be on the school board because I know I would have to behave. This is why I'm not in politics. Though someday I might be, but I have to raise children first. No, I am not. And I'm sure I miss opportunities to speak. And I know that Mark Johnson's office says, well, she's nice in person. She's mean as hell on a video. I mean, I try to be nice, but I'm just being honest. What happens to the kids with both parents working? Well, that's not their problem. But Craig Horn today was like, well, we have a lot of kids that can't access it because of transportation and where they live. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? I don't know. Well, one, I said, NC Pre-K, we have school buses. So there's no place in a county that doesn't pick people up with a school bus. Like, are you aware that transportation is actually provided by the state? I mean, hello. And I get it, they're trying to balance a lot of people, and then they got 60 people. So this part of this virtual preschool is they're going to pay for people to have internet. So they're providing the internet. They provide the internet. But everything we know about child development, which is what I was saying. So my husband's asked me what I did today. I'm basically just harassing, people in the government. But everything we know about how children's brains work is rooted in play and social and vocabulary, not iPads. Nobody oversees the progress. Yes, and they provide the computers too, iPads. I mean, how much is the program going to cost? Well, they want to throw $500,000 at it to start in 10 communities and do a pilot program with no evaluation. And I did say, I was like, if I had wanted to do my dissertation and I had written a bill like you did as like my abstract, my board chairs at Carolina and State would be like, you a dumbass. You can't do this. Like, how are you going to measure what you're doing? A pilot program is indicative of an evaluation. You can't just do a pilot program. And you know what they said? Well, we've asked parents that have had iPads and they like it. What if self-reporting was data? How do we protect against this, Adrian? I would call those senators. There are 4 listed. I would, if people would take 5 minutes to personally call them and leave a message. And what I always say is that I don't even act like I want to talk to them when I call. That works better. I just say who I am on the phone. I'm Adrian Wood. I'd like to talk to you about House Bill 485. This is my number. Please call me back so we can set up time for a 10-minute meeting in the next 30 days. Most people know if you say that, like, you ain't going away. So that seems to work better. But if they get more calls, I mean, even towards the end of the conversation, the one fellow was like, well, I mean, bills don't usually happen the way we put them in. And I was like, but you put your name on it. And I did say to him, North Carolina is pissed right now. We have Mark Johnson frittering away education because he wants to be governor someday. I mean, he ain't going to be the governor. I will be the governor before I allow him to be the governor. And then we have bills about, we have read to achieve. Like, it's like everybody's had a lobotomy. People are pissed. So when they read this, somebody like me says, well, now we're going to get rid of pre-K, even though we know it's great. And it saves money in the long run. So if you want to talk about money, again, I'm a fiscal conservative. If you spend money on these kids now, it's going to save you a hell of a lot of money later. They're more likely to graduate from high school, less likely to go to prison. I mean, all sorts of things that are very expensive. And it's not that expensive. I think my principal told me for us to have an additional pre-K class would cost our community $10,000. But we don't have $10,000. We don't have $10,000. We just don't. So anyway, that's it. You've got my rant for the night. But I want you to vote for Jen Mangrum. That's who we're going to vote for. We're going to support her. She taught 3rd grade, I think, for 12 years. Very good teacher. You see lots of parents. I did a post of hers this morning. Lots of parents chime in. And children who had her. And then she was hired out of graduate school to start and open the elementary ed program at NC State, which she did within 18 months. I'm a new listener. I'm glad you're here, Lisa. You should become a supporter. Then you'll never miss any fun. And then she has been teaching at UNC Greensboro for, I think, another 10 years. And she ran for Senate against Phil Berger, the Hamburglar, who, interestingly enough, is trying to make changes to how they vote for school board members because they want them to have to announce if they're a Republican or a Democrat. It's never been like that. Just everything they do is so cockeyed. But anyway, I think she'd be good. She did not beat Berger, but she got 30% of the votes, which is pretty good for somebody that has never run before and doesn't have some big platform or a lot of money. Like a billionaire kind of thing. So anyway, I think she's going to run, and I'm going to support her social media-wise since I don't have much money either. And I think she can win. And you know what? If I know that somebody is in there that really cares and they don't accomplish anything, it's much better than what Mark Johnson is accomplishing because all he's doing is hurting us. I mean, really hurting us. She teaches teachers. Any mention from summer reading camp? No. But Amos got into autism camp in Newport this summer through Trillium. Talk about a great program. We're very excited about that. He'll be with Logan again. Clearly, these people do not understand children learn through play, not on a darn screen. We are raising tiny humans, not zombies. Janet, I think she can win. Okay, carry on, people. My supporters, we'll see you tomorrow. You'll be getting your shirts, so get excited. Now I want one of every color. And this hashtag cease and desist will be coming out soon, so y'all can order it this weekend. Tomorrow's my birthday. It is. I'll be 44. And I'm going to be at career day at the middle school, and evidently I'm supposed to prepare something, which I have not done. And Mary Scott is going to be there as a realtor, and she did a poster. But I do have this. This is the only good thing I have. Where is it? Oh, here it is. I think I'm just going to take this and put it on my table. Tales of an Educated Debutante, trash. So when I spoke in, when I spoke somewhere, they had these signs everywhere, and they had this over the trash area so people would know where to throw their trash away. And I brought it. Might wear my pajamas tomorrow too, since I'm a blocker. And then we have games and stuff. And then Friday, I'll be at the Rosemont Vineyard for Families Embracing Autism Together, talking. And then Saturday morning, I'll be in Tarboro for the NFL football camp. Woohoo! Very excited about that. The diet's good. Well, I lost 10 pounds the last time I checked. I don't know if I'm in fat burn, though, because, I cheated. I ate those cheese fries from Outback. I just couldn't help myself. My coach was very disappointed in me. I wanted to go to Southern Nash Madison, but I couldn't go because the administration wasn't welcoming me. I think they're afraid. Your cousin's son will be at the camp. I think they were afraid if I went to Southern Nash, Jeffries might try to get them all. So I went to, where did I go? I went to Johnson Elementary, and the principal wouldn't talk to me because I wanted to talk to her about that copying machine GoFundMe that she made the teacher take down, and then the teacher left. And I went to Rocky Mount Prep and did a tour because I've been hearing so much about Rocky Mount Prep. And sometimes I just like to find out things for myself. So I did. I'm not quite sure what I found yet. But I had a tour with Todd Pipkin, and it was very nice. And he was nice, and I met lots of principals. It's a charter school. So anyway, it's not hearsay. It's not like I'm just annoyed. I really do try to find things out and do the right thing. Hell, you can't tell. Carry on, people.